Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I'm going to ask you to please reach into your pocket or your purse and silence your phone, just like I did, if you would be so kind. Please stand for our staff, faculty, and graduates. And you can give it up for the graduates as they arrive. Yeah, come on, you can make noise. It's okay. Yeah, come on. Please be seated. Okay, I hate standing behind one of these things, so I'm going to walk a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eric Rudy. I have the honor of being the campus president for Fortis Institute in Nashville. Welcome. You have no idea how happy of an occasion this is for our campus. This is the first time in a year that we have been able to gather family, friends, faculty and staff, and graduates together in a group to celebrate a graduation. It's awesome. It may be small, but our last graduation had over 700 people at it, but we're going to get there again. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for supporting your graduates. And to you guys, just a couple of words. 2 years ago, when you started this journey, we sat in a room together and we told you that this would probably be the hardest thing you'd done in your life, because becoming a nurse is no easy thing to do. And you all stood there and you said, yeah, I know we're going to have homework. Yeah, I know we're going to have midterms. Yeah, I know we're going to have final exams. And we said, yeah, and it's going to be even harder than that, just so you know. Well, none of us knew at that time that COVID would come and make it not only hard, but darn near impossible. And over that period of time, you went from being on-campus students to completely off-campus students, back to on-campus students, to hybrid students, back to on-campus students, and you never gave up. You never gave up. And you worked your little selves off to the point of tears, to the point of exhaustion, but you persevered. You had the support of your families, you had the support of your friends, you had the support of your classmates, you had the support of your faculty and staff, and you had the support of the campus. But make no mistake, you did this yourselves. You put in the hours. You put in the work. You put in the tears and the frustration and the everything, and you still made it to sit here ready to receive your degrees and ready to become nurses. Congratulations. I don't know what else to say other than you're amazing, because all of the trials and tribulations that you guys went through, you didn't complain. You just said, I want to be a nurse, and I'm going to be a nurse, and I'm going to be the best nurse that I can be. Good job. And now, today, you're not students anymore. Now you're peers. And as soon as you pass that NCLEX exam, you're an RN. And so my hope for you is that you remember what all of us talked about in your orientation 2 years ago, and that is, remember that someday you might be taking care of me, my wife, my children, one of your fellow faculty members or staff members. And remember that as a nurse, you never stop learning, ever. Take the advice of your attending, take the advice of your fellow nurses when you're on the floor, and just remember all the stuff that you learned. And I guarantee you that some of those classes that you took where you were going, Dr. Dunker, why do I need this class? It's going to come in handy. I don't understand why I need biology. Trust me, it'll come in handy. And all of those sims that you had to deal with those guys over there, they're worth it when you have a real patient on the table. In the end, congratulations from the entire campus. I know you had a lot of support. You have a lot of people behind you. So graduates, stand up for a second. Turn around and give a hand to all the people that supported you while you were in school. Awesome. Have a seat, guys. Without further ado, I am going to ask our student speaker to please come up. Tara-Lee, come on up. And she is going to deliver a message to the class. It's okay, it's no big deal. Really.
My heart.
Her heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure that's ready for you. Make sure it's speaking into the microphone.
Hello.
There you
Okay.
go. Perfect.
And I'm blind. Okay, I'm going to try not to stare at the speech and look at you guys because I pretty much memorized this thing. But if I stare at it, I'm sorry. Okay. In nursing school, they teach us that if a patient's having an anxiety attack, we are to help them with pursed-lipped breathing. This consists of breathing in deep through your nose and out through your mouth like you have a straw. This allows more oxygen to get to the brain. And so if I start doing it, this is about as scary as The Sims for me. Good evening, friends and family. My name is Tara-Lee Mayhew, and I'm humbled and honored tonight to represent this graduating class of 2021. For the past 2 to 2.5 years, we have introduced ourselves as nursing students. Hello, my name is Tara-Lee, and I'm a nursing student. However, after tonight, we'll be able to pick up the title we've all been working hard for, and that is ASN graduate, hopefully soon RN. In my first class, there were around 30 students. We had 2 years of nursing school. There's 6 of us here, 8 graduates total today. We have accomplished something hard, you guys. And the reason this is hard is because we're held to a high standard in society. We're support staff for the doctors, the last eyes to see a possible med error. Families trust us with their loved ones' lives, and it's been rated the most trusted profession for years. While this is an extremely challenging 2 years, I'd like to put into perspective how we graduates had to persevere. So many of us chose Fortis due to their curriculum, allowing you to get all your prereqs done the first year and your nursing class credits done the second. It was accelerated, intense, and it definitely flew by due to the busyness of each day. The first year classes taught us the foundation of time management, the sacrifice of saying no to things I really wanted to do, but I couldn't because I had to study, and what a small glimpse of the next year would be. From the beginning, we were exposed to the reality of 3 to 4 exams, plus the final consisting of our total grade, and that had to be a 78%. That sounds like doable, but it was really hard. Then add on the homework and quizzes, and that final grade still had to be 78% average. Throughout the year, I would speak to some of the older students and ask questions like, is it hard? Is there a lot of reading? Are the exams okay? The answer was the same. It's hard. It's doable, but hard. I'm gonna break down each class just real quick. So health assessment. This was our first nursing class. The whole theme of this was to help us master the head-to-toe assessment. We needed to know what the normal was to have foresight for the abnormal. It also gave us a glimpse into the NCLEX-style questions. Here's the tips for those. All 4 answers are correct, but 1 is better. They always expect us to answer with the mindset of safety first. If you can go into a patient's room and you can't do anything else, what would the option be? Follow ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. Unless it's CPR, then it's CAB, compressions, airway, then breathing. And if it's a select all that apply, it's really true or false. Class, we only have 1 more exam with those style of questions before we are RNs. I cannot forget to mention that in this class, we were introduced to the weekly NCLEX questions, the HESIs, in each chapter at least being 20 pages long, in each exam covering 5 to 15 chapters. That equals like 300 pages. Pharmacology and fundamentals. This was the first semester where we had 2 nursing classes together. From here on out, the outline of our day looked like this. We woke up, we studied, we cried, we ate a little, we studied, we cry, we study, we eat, and then we sleep. And some of us had to work full time, so add that in there. Professor Brown, you and I spoke a few times about how this first fundamentals exam was hard for most students, and I think it was because we were all focused on that pharmacology exam that none of us studied for the fundamentals exam. So fundamentals taught us the nursing basics, how to make a bed, how to wash our hands, use and teach patients about walking devices, wound care, IVs, and of course the famous swipe in and swipe out. To walk into a patient's room, you have to introduce yourself, wash your hands, identify the patient, give privacy, and explain what you're doing. And then before you ever dare to leave, you better brown cow by making sure the bed's in the lowest position, 3 rails are up, call out and reach, needs are met, take your gloves off, and then wash your hands. This class is also where we got to meet Stan, our simulator, AKA Professor V, and Professor M, and Professor Johnson. You guys almost did all of it. Did you guys know that we completed 54 different sims? That was like all day long stuff too. We also started our clinical rotations at this time, and that totaled 312 hours. Pharmacology went like this. There was agonist drugs, antagonist drugs, alpha and beta blockers, cholinergic and anticholinergic drugs. There were cardiac drugs for hypertension, heart failure, anti-anginal, and antidysrhythmics. It's just the beginning. You need to know how the drug works in your body, desired effect, side effects, adverse effects, contraindications, and if there's toxicity, what's the drug for the reversal? To say this class was hard is an understatement, but by the end of it, we could barely tell you any of the drugs. We needed an Ativan for anxiety and a Zofran for nausea after all those exams. Y'all are laughing. Okay. Pharmacology did come together in our minds, though, when we went on to Med-Surg 1 and Med-Surg 2, where we learned why we were using the drugs for certain conditions. Med-Surg 1 and OB. This is around the time, for me, that COVID started to become a problem in the United States, and places started shutting down all around us. I was looking on Facebook, and nursing schools were shutting down. The students were literally like, I'm in the middle, I'm in my last semester, we don't know when we're gonna open again. Fortis Nashville did not stop. We immediately started online classes, simulations, clinical hours, and we have slowly integrated back into in-school learning as the year went by. I want to thank you teachers and school staff for working hard, for not allowing us to pause our education. We see you in everything you guys did. Okay, after saying that, I did want to say that online education's hard, and the Zoom app is amazing if you have good service, but the more members showing cameras, and if you're like long distance, it doesn't work right. Okay, on a positive note though, it instills in us the ability to handle stressful situations and to adapt to the ever-changing environment of what a normal shift will look like once we're nurses. By this point, we are not used to the 5 to 15 chapter exams every 3 weeks. I can't explain in words how stressful it is when you've not read all 300 plus pages for that exam. Here is our personal nursing diagnosis, students. Excessive stress related to chronic exams secondary to nursing school manifested by uncontrollable crying, exhaustion, and hysteria. Med-Surg class would be what I would call the meat and potatoes of nursing knowledge. We learned about surgery, infection, cancer, electrolyte imbalances, pain, visual problems, auditory problems, skin problems, burn, respiratory problems, hematological problems, and heart problems. We needed to know treatment options, how to teach a patient about their illness, disease process, signs and symptoms, medication. It could go on, but I'm just giving the highlighted version. The class was hard enough alone. We had to add a baby to it. I thought to myself, I've got 4 kids, I've got OB. I don't have OB. It was absolutely crazy. So the body is amazing in itself, but then you add development and birth, and it's all alone miraculous. Okay, Med-Surg 2 and Peds. Med-Surg 2 added the knowledge of the GI, kidney, endocrine, neuro, reproductive, muscle, critical care, shock, and sepsis. This class, though, is where we found ourselves to be able to critically think through situations. While we covered most of everything in the adult body, the whole program, we started learning about kids, and I swear they're like opposite of what we learned. It was kind of difficult. Pediatrics is a foreign language. Although I just named a small list of the hard things we had to endure, it's been an absolute joy to be in nursing school, especially with you guys. I want to thank every teacher that came alongside of us during this journey. You took every one of us as baby nurslings. You grew us up into young and brave nurses and gave us hope that we can do good in this world by helping and caring for others. We as students see the hard work you put in every day to teach us the art of nursing. You're brilliant in the way you taught us. You challenged every one of us in every way, and in the times when we didn't believe we could finish it, you believed it for us. You were our cheerleader. You met with some of us one-on-one, shared your belief in us when we didn't have it for ourselves. You showed us what leadership, honesty, integrity, compassion, consistency, perseverance, and adaptability look like. Next up in this wonderful journey, we have to take the state board exam, the NCLEX. I know we've all been praying, Lord, please get us out of nursing school. But if you'll join us in prayer one more time, we are studying for the NCLEX, and we're going to face that thing head on. We could not have done this journey without the support and love from our families. I lost my last page, so I'm winging it. You guys have handled our ups and downs. You've shifted life for us because our life shifted. I just want to thank you so, so much. There's not enough pages. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's pretty much, well, thank you for encouraging us, sacrificing, believing, supporting us as we turn our long-awaited dream of being nurse into a reality. That's it. I love you guys.
I've been emceeing these things for almost 30 years with nursing students. That is the best student speech I have ever seen. Bravo, dear, bravo. Wow, yeah, that pretty much covers it. There we go. Next, I'd like to bring up our Dean of Nursing, Dr. Kimberly Dunker, and she is going to present some student awards. Dr. Dunker?
Well, the best way to follow that act is to give some awards out, I'm thinking. Well, I just want to welcome everybody here. This is pretty exciting, honestly. To see the family and the friends at the end of, when we come to pinning is just amazing to celebrate, because it is such a hard journey. Can we all believe that? So at this time, the faculty have come together to, let's see where my paper is. Give some. Did you take my paper? I can wing it. It's all right. She'll be back up here. All right, so the first award that we give, we don't actually, the faculty come together, full and part-time faculty, and by the way, while we're on the subject of faculty, I would like to recognize our nursing faculty. If you would all please stand. So, one of the first awards that we give tonight is to a student who has the highest academic achievement. Basically, it's not an award that we vote on. It's the award of the student that has the highest GPA. And I'd like to present this award to Zoilo Enriquez. All right, so the next award, we had a faculty tie, and we just couldn't decide between, so we're giving out 2 awards for this category. This is the category that we call Clinical Excellence in the Art and Science of Nursing. This award will be given to 2 graduates who maintain high academic standing, demonstrate technical competency in the clinical area above average, and their ability to clinically judgment, decision-making skills, and practice as well as patient needs. Basically, they're pretty good in clinical, right? Does that make sense? So I'd like to call up Tara-Lee Mayhew and Adilolapo Ogunwomoju. Dolly. All right. The next award goes to, it's the Leadership Award. Leaders come in all different sizes and shapes and all different personalities. There's quiet leaders, there's really boisterous leaders, and in this case, this Leadership Award goes to the student who demonstrates characteristics of leadership. And this is a quiet leader of the group, and I'd like to call up Zoilo Enriquez. He's like, what, me? All right. The last award is the Florence Nightingale Award. So in a little bit, we are going to do our Florence Nightingale Lighting of the Lamps. It's pretty sacred in our nursing tradition. And this award is given to the graduate who exemplifies the qualities of an inquiring attitude, intellectual understanding, studies observation, has a therapeutic of self, and maximizing the process of health and art and science. This is a caring person in practice. So the faculty got together and we've chosen Carrie Hughes. Well, the next we have, this year we decided, since we couldn't have a big graduation, that why not confer degrees right here? What do you think? It's a good idea, right? Let's walk home with some degrees. So I'd like to call up President Rudy for confirmation of the degrees.
I got to do the legal thing.
Oh,
Yeah. Unfortunately, our Dean of Education, Dr. Salamat Hussein, was unable to join us, so I'm going to do both his part and mine. This is the official part. Dr. Dunker, graduates, family and friends, I have reviewed and certified the academic records of the graduates here before us and attest to all present that they have met the academic and curricular requirements to qualify for graduation from the nursing program at Fortis Institute in Nashville, Tennessee. Therefore, by the power vested in me as the campus president of Fortis Institute in Nashville, Tennessee, by the Fortis Nashville Department of Education, the Fortis Institute's Department of Nursing, and the state of Tennessee, I do hereby confer upon you, as you individually present yourself, an Associate of Applied Science degree in nursing, along with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities associated therewith. Congratulations, graduates. Dr. Dunker, would you please present the graduates?
Okay, I'm going to call your name. You're going to stand up and come up the stage and receive your degree. Rodniqua Davis. Zoilo Enriquez. Carrie Hughes. Carly Lessenberry. Tara Lee Mayhew. Ade Do Lapo Ogunwomoju. Dolly. At this time, I'd like to call up two of my colleagues, Professor Tom Marcourt and Professor Nicole Van Bendegon, to present the pins. These two professors have had an integral part in the student's journey. They are the SIMS directors, right, of 210. So we feel like it's only fitting to have them do the pinning. All right. The first person I'd like to call up is Rodniqua Davis. Why did you choose nursing? What made me want to be a nurse is the ability to help others in the time of need. What do you plan to do after you complete your program and finish boards? I plan on working maybe 1 to 2 years. Then I plan to pursue my RN to BS, hopefully 1 year, then pursue my nurse practitioner. Any special thanks or recognition? I just want to thank all my teachers for all the help and encouragement they helped me make through the program. I'd like to call Zoilo Enriquez, who's being pinned by his wife, Maria. Why did you choose nursing? I took up nursing because I would like to bring change to the lives of my family and make a difference in the lives of the people that we have entrusted in my care. What do you plan to do after you complete the program and finish boards? Having worked as a certified chronic hemodialysis tech and dialysis machine technician, my pathway is towards becoming a dialysis nurse. But I am open to the possibility of getting employed in other fields of nursing practice, whatever gives me the most professional advantage. Any special thanks or recognition? I would like to thank my coworkers, nurse manager, and AOD for their patience and understanding, my classmates and friends for all the support, my professors and preceptors, and everyone at Fortis for a good academic preparation. I am beyond blessed and thankful for having a very supportive dean, Dr. Kimberly Dunker, for helping me make it through, especially during the last term, which was my most trying time of my life, during which I needed the most help. Most of all, I would like to thank my family, especially my son, for inspiring me, and my wife for pushing me to take up nursing. Obviously, she's a nurse too. And supporting me all the way, and our Almighty God for his blessings. Carrie Hughes, why you chose nursing? I have always enjoyed helping others and wanted to be able to make a difference somehow. I chose nursing because if it were to offer me a way to provide a wide variety of services and lending a comforting hand to those who need it in the times of healing. What do you plan to do after you complete your boards? I've been practicing as an LPN for the past 4 years at NHC. By completing my boards as a registered nurse, I will be able to take on more responsibility and provide more acute care to my patients. I would like to thank all the staff at Fortis for offering me the opportunity to further my career and putting up with me through this journey. Tara Lee Mayhew, why you chose nursing? This was a hard decision for me. I wanted to say I chose nursing because it's the thing that makes me feel whole, like I'm doing the very thing God has designated me to do in this lifetime. As I look back, I have always enjoyed medical stuff. I remember my dad had a paramedics book around the house, and I would always look through it when I was in elementary school age, and helping my aunt clean off the vial of her insulin. I would say that it's my character to help, encourage, and listen, have compassion for, and show empathy for people, so I've chosen that field that is exactly me. I plan to get into the ICU. After a year or two, I would like to transfer to the ER and work as a SANE nurse certificate, which could then let me get into forensic nursing. One big dream of mine is to work as a flight nurse. I will continue my education to accomplish a master's degree in nursing so that at the end of it all, I am able to teach nursing students just like I was taught. Any special recognition, God is going to be the first I thank. It is only Him that I have been able to be right here, right now. I also want to thank my mom, although she's passed, and she was a huge reason why I am here. She was a nurse and would always tell me that nursing is what I am born to do, that I would do great in it. Lee, you have been my best partner a girl could ask for while getting through nursing school. You have dealt with my ups and downs of emotions and held me tight when I needed to cry. You picked up the load of finances, pulled us through in the end. You have been my biggest fan, always reminding me that I need to keep studying and proud after every exam graded that I received. That is not enough time for me to thank you correctly, but please know that I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Kids, you three stepped up and shared responsibilities of the house so that I could keep studying. Braden and Dayton, thank you for not fighting with me too much with this, as well as being a very loud countdown through the process. Brooklyn, you are my dear, and you are going to be an amazing mother and wife after all this blessing around and cooking you did for me. Brooklyn, you have been my loudest cheerleader. You have carried me through the end and every day by reminding me that it is an amazing thing to do, that it'll be worth it in the end. Dad, every time that I talk to you, always remind me that I'm smart and that I will rock school. Thank you for your encouraging words. It always meant the world to me. You always reminded me very frequently that I was just like Mom, and that to me is everything. Oh, and I can't forget to thank you for your prayers that you got me through. Lisa and Brad, thank you for stepping into the mom role in my life and staying by my side just like you would have. Thank you for housing my family when we abruptly moved from Florida and I started school shortly after. Thank you for standing in the gap with the kids, getting them to and from everything they needed while I was in school or studying. You made sure that their life didn't slow down just because mine did. Thank you for always reminding me that my mom would be proud of me. This, again, doesn't give me enough time to properly thank you and all you've done. Lastly, I would like to thank Dean Dunker, Professor V, Professor Brown, Dr. Lamaskis, Dr. Kareem, Professor M, Professor Johnson, Professor Hensley, and all the preceptors who worked with me. You have radically changed my life. I came into nursing school knowing that this is what I've wanted to do, but you have molded me into what I am today, feeling prepared to take the NCLEX next week and exciting to walk into the field of nursing. I care for every single one of you, and I have said before, this is not enough time to thank you all individually, and thank you for all you have done. Adedolapo Ogunwomoju, Dolly. I chose nursing because my mother is a nurse. I admire and love her compassion towards sick patients. She motivated me to become a nurse. When I told her I love how she cares for people. I was a flight attendant for over 8 years, and I have helped with delivering babies on board the aircraft. This also made me have passion to become a nurse. I plan to take an extern PRN job in other to gain more experience after I take my board exam. I plan to work as a circulating scrub nurse in the operating room. I will start with my bachelor's in 6 months. I'm gonna hold you to that. After securing a full-time job, eventually furthering my education to become a nurse anesthetist. I want to say a big thanks to all my professors for making my journey through nursing school a success. It would not have been possible if not for your patience and help. You all impacted great knowledge of me, and I'm excited to be among the graduates tonight. Nursing program was challenging for me, and I remember crying several times wanting the whole program to come to an end. But I was comforted by my dean, Professor Johnson, Dr. Penny Lamaskis, and several other professors telling me I can do this. I appreciate you all for believing in me. I also want to take this opportunity to thank my fiance, Sam, for his support throughout the entire program. You're a great man. I love you and appreciate all your efforts for making my dream come true. I feel accomplished to be here tonight, and thank you for rejoicing with us. I'd like to call up Professor Derek Johnson and Professor Rhonda Evans and Professor Itapai to present the lighting of the lamps. Oh my gosh. What do you want to do? I would like to call up Carly Lessenberry. Oh, Carly. Carly, why I chose nursing. I chose nursing because I wanted a career that is interesting, challenging, and makes a difference in a person's life. It is a career that brings joy and comfort to those in need. What do you plan to do after you complete the program and finish boards? I plan to spend time with family and friends while trying to figure out what kind of nurse I will want to be. I will be starting the nurse residency program that will offer lots of learning and skills and building. Special thanks and recognition. God, Chad, my sisters, my family, friends, and faculty, Professor Brown, Miss V, and Dr. Dunker. All right, ready? All right.
Excuse me, sorry. Good evening. So at this time, we're going to leave the students in the presentation of lighting the lamps, as well as the Nightingale Pledge. Once we start the Nightingale Pledge, we would ask that each person that is in here that is a nurse, please rise with us and state it as well. All right? So students, please stand and receive your lamps.
Ignites a candle and makes his home. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the helpless, confused and torn, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle without a flame. So carry your candle and run to the darkness, seek out the lonely, the tired and worn, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world.
All right, at this time, we would ask that every nurse in the building would stand and join us in reading the Nursing Nightingale Pledge.
Thank you. If you guys would like to take your seats. Okay, you guys got to hold it all together for just a minute longer because I'm going to ask you to stand up, okay? Graduates, please stand. Turn around, face the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduating nursing class from Fortis Institute for April 2021. If you would remain standing as the graduates proceed out, followed by the faculty and staff. Give it up for them, guys. They worked hard. Yeah. Gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you for joining us. Please drive safely on your way home.